Hi, today we're solving problem 43. The number 140635728 is a 0 to 9 pan-digital number because it is made up of all the digits 0 to 9 in some order, but it also has a rather interesting substring divisibility property. Let d sub 1 be the first digit, d sub 2 be the second digit, and so on. We note that d sub 2, d sub 3, d sub 4, 406, is divisible by 2. Then the next substring, 063, is divisible by 3. 635 is divisible by 5, and so on. So all the substrings are divisible by these numbers. Find the sum of all 0 to 9 pan-digitals with this property. So we're just going to solve this with a brute force, going over all pan-digitals and checking if each of these substrings are divisible by these numbers. Let's go over and switch over to IntelliJ. Now the first thing we need to implement is the check to see if one of the numbers follows this substring divisibility rule. So I'm going to do works. This is going to take a number, and here we're just going to take a string for a number so that we can quickly get the substrings. And this is going to be, now what do we need to do here? We need to first of all drop the first element because we don't care about that. We start substrings from the second digit onward, so we're going to do number dot tail. And now on the remaining part, we're going to do a sliding window of size 3 to get each of these substrings. So we're going to do dot sliding of size 3. And I'm going to store this in like slid. Now we need to go over each element of slid and make sure that the elements are divisible by these numbers. So here, I'm going to first zip slid with the numbers that each element needs to be divisible by. So I'm going to do slid.zip, and zip is going to take another iterator, and in this case it's just going to be an iterator of these elements. So what zip is going to do is it's going to pair up the elements already in slid with the elements from this list. So then we'll get pairs of 406 and 2, 063 and 3, and so on. So here we have 2, 3, 5, 7 all the way up to 17. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, and 17. Now we need to make sure that for all of these pairs, we're going to take the slid string. So this is a string representing that sub portion of the number, and divisible, what we need to check to see if it's divisible by. What we're going to do is we're going to convert slid string into an int and check if that's divisible by divisible. And this has to be equal to 0 if it is divisible. And this will return us a boolean, and we're good to go. Now we can test out works, so println works, and this is going to take a string, which is the number, so we can pass this number in. We can run, and we get true, so we know that this works. Now the last thing we have to do is go over all 0 to 9 pan-digitals. So the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to go over all the digits 0 to 9. I'm going to combine these all into string, and then I'm going to calculate permutations based on that. So permutations is going to give us an iterator of strings, and each of these strings will be passed to works. So I'm going to take permutations, and we need to find the sum of all the ones that work. So I'm going to filter the ones that work, and I'm going to convert each of these to a long so that we can sum these up. And these numbers are going to be pretty big since they're 10 digits long, so I'm going to have a long here, and I'm going to sum them up. So you can print this sum, and run it. So now it's going to be going over each of these permutations. Okay, and we got our sum, so we have our answer. So that's it for problem number 43. I'll see you next time when we solve problem 44.